Hey guys, how we doing? Practice number 10, and I tell you what, we learned a lot today. Really put the kids in a 20-play kind of all-pressure situation with the whole gamut of pressures that Clancy has put in. And I'll tell you what, it was really, really neat to see. It showed, one, how the package has been developing over the last 10 practices, then to see it all combined and see the quarterback really be forced off his spot, several sacks. It was great to see. That's what I remember Clancy's defense being, ultra aggressive and just a hard day for the quarterback. I was even sitting back there sometimes going, wow, I got no idea where it's coming from. They're really hiding pressures, hiding rotations. Very, very nice day. And then at the end, we did another, we've been doing situational football all the way through spring practice, and we put ourselves in an overtime situation, actually the third overtime, to be able to have to go for two, forcing you to go for two. And it was good to see both quarterbacks drive the ball down for touchdowns, and then the second group got the 2-point play to win it. So really good day for us with some situational football and putting pressure on the quarterback. It was nice to see. With that, I'll answer any questions that you got.
Yes, both Tyson and Sam. What would you call the offense right now? If somebody says, "What are you guys running at USC?" What do you say?
It's a pro-style offense that is very balanced right now, and I think it's balanced, Dan, because of the amount of skill. I'm amazed right now when you look at all positions, both from wide. You look at the depth at the wideout position and the running back position. I mean, we're very talented at that. And then, you look at the three tight ends. I think they've really progressed. Taylor was kind of our lead horse last fall, and he's carried that. But Daniel and Tyler, you see the progression that they've made. I think we got three quality tight ends that with the end of this camp and training camp, I think is going to be ready. Offensive line, first time we've been too deep in a long time here, in a solid too deep. I really feel our offense, just like most offenses, will live and die by the quarterback and how well the quarterback plays. And our goal is to be balanced, put you in a situation where, you 50-50 run pass, and then when we must run the ball to win the game, that's where we've got to bring our physicality to the park. And that usually ends up, throwing you into a 55 to normal down distance. You're probably going to get 50-50, and then when it's time to go win the ball game, you're going to probably get heavy run. I'm sorry. I'm going to cut you off. Oh, a J-name. Very cool. Yeah. We've got several special athletes here. Dory being a defensive player that comes help on offense. One of the things that I've seen, we've had a little bit of a lack of depth because of some injuries, some surgeries that have gone on. And you look up, and I was like, who on offense, if we had to, could go over and help us defensively? Well, a J-name is that type of guy. We watched him, his eval coming out of high school. He was playing quarterback, he was playing wide receiver, he was playing corner. And, for him to go over there and help an emergency situation, we really wanted to give him some experience this last 6 weeks, just in case if we get in that situation, he could always go over and help out. I think Juju could do that too if needed. He's got a little bit of a hamstring, so I'm not going to put him in that situation right now, but JJ was a very likely candidate, having done a little bit of it in high school.
Will we see Darnold get more first-team reps moving forward?
Yeah, it's been a little bit. You've already seen that as far as both scrimmage situations and practice situations. He's been with the first team and has done well. I think both Max and Sam are playing at a very high level. I thought Max's Saturday practice was the best he's had. He made Trojan of the day that day. It was by far his best practice with the accuracy that he had and the effectiveness of moving the ball. And Sam continues to progress. And I tell you what, Jalen, I really think is coming along now a little bit as far as getting that rust off for being wide out, moving back to quarterback. So a nice situation that we have. I think we got several good quarterbacks, including a young buck, Matt Fink, that I still can't believe that he's out here and getting these reps. He's supposed to be in high school, and man, he's doing a great job. So I'm very fortunate where we're at quarterback. But yes, that's a good question. He has gotten some. He'll continue to do that throughout camp.
Sam looks really.
How was the tackle
situation kind of working itself out with Chad and Chuma a little bit banged up?
Yeah. I tell you what it's actually done. It's given Nate Smith, a very young player, and Roy Hemsley the opportunity to get some really quality reps. At this point in time, you kind of know what Chad is, you kind of know what Chuma is, and to be able to let Nate grow up and Roy grow up, several good possibilities there to get them some extra reps. And then we moved Jordan Simmons on Saturday out to tackle. He played right tackle in high school, and that just as an emergency situation if needed. So it's given us the opportunity to work through some kind of what if you ever get in that situation in the game, what happens, and it's been nice to work through. It really has. Never want a guy to get hurt, but it's not a season-ending injury or anything like that. It's good to get those young guys some reps.
When you think of Sam, you think of the quarterback that can run, but it looks like he's really comfortable in the pocket, and his mobility seems to be working well there. But the thing that really seems to be impressive is how he throws the ball on the run either direction. Yeah,
he's always been a very good athlete, and he's always been able to create. You got to remember, he was a point guard in high school on a very good team at San Clemente, and he's always had great vision to be able to move in the pocket, be able to see things and find it. I see for him in the first 6 practices, you were like, oh gosh, where is he going with the ball? And now the light's kind of clicking on, and he's really starting to understand the system, and because of that, you're seeing the ball coming out more on time and not taking. They took a couple sacks today that I'm going to get on him about, but you can see him being more comfortable with the offense and being more confident. And just like you saw in that last play in overtime, stepped right up in the pocket, didn't reset his feet. He's on the move and throws a stutter go for a touchdown, which is not the easiest pass in the world, and has enough arm strength to do that. So it was great to see. Going to be a really good player.
You made a point to not play music at practice. Do you mind the baseball team playing music across the way?
Oh, no question. They're great. They've got their games, and they're doing a nice job right now. So we support them. Matter of fact, we're getting all ready. We got 44 players going over to be represented for their 3.0 last year, 3.0 or higher. So we're getting ready to go over there and celebrate that and get honored with that. So we'll be dancing over there with them and clapping for them.
Are there any areas that you get asked often, which players are standing out and what you've been impressed with? Are there any areas that you have some concerns about?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. One is the depth at defensive line and the youth at defensive line. Just to be honest, I've seen a progression for them. They've gotten from day one where I was scared to death to now where I'm like, okay, they're getting a little better, but still we've got a long way to go there. I think KU has done a great job of progressing them. So has Clancy, but we still have a ways to go. We need these last 5 practices. They're going to be really important to us. And then the 29 practices in training camp, I think, are going to be imperative for that group. That's the one group we're going to have to stay lucky and stay healthy, but there's going to have to be some. It reminds me of when Damian and Vianney and Toa were young people. There's talent there, but they're very youth. They're busting an assignment on occasion, which whenever you give up a gap, that usually ends up a big play, and they're learning how to play ball. So that's probably my biggest concern right now, but I know they'll get it done. They've got a really good coach.
One guy there we don't mention much, but it seems like he's really doing well, is Malik Dorton. Tell me about him.
Yeah, he was a Trojan of the day on Saturday. He's had a tremendous football camp, and it goes back to I really like what Clancy did, that clean slate policy of, really not watching a ton of film coming in, but really wanted to just find out who each guy was and give them their own chance. And Malik's made the most of it. He's had his opportunity, and he's really putting together a really good camp and a guy that can help us in the following year.
Is he big enough? I mean, that's the question everybody has about him. Is he?
Yeah, he's a very quick twitch guy, and anytime that you can be placed in that 3 or 5 on an edge and get up the field and penetrate, that's hard. That's hard on an offensive lineman. It's given us problems. He's very quick twitch, and I think if he was a 2-gap player, I think he would have a really hard time. But right now, with his size, being able to penetrate and do what he does best, I think it's really helping us.
Will Noah be able to make it back before the end?
Yeah, he got some really quality reps today in individual. So he was out there, did both our run and pass individual, and really wanted to do more. And we kind of put him back just because it's his first day back, and it's good that nothing was wrong with his back. He's got his core strength back, but just like we are doing with Osa, kind of easing him back so we don't retweak anything. We want to get quality stuff, even if it's not the amount of reps for him. It's a quality rep. So So we're really working to make sure that he can get these last 5 practices. Good question. All right, guys, thank y'all so much.